The city of Kobe, Japan, is located on Osaka Bay and is close to neighboring Osaka and Kyoto. It's known for its iconic beef, as well as its beautiful mountains and seascapes. It is also home to Ikuta Shrine. Ikuta Shrine dates back to the 3rd century and is one of Japan's oldest. It is also said to be the home of the ghost of a heartbroken young woman who spends her nights searching for her long-lost lover. My name is Kevin O'Shea, and welcome to the Supernatural Japan podcast. In each episode of this podcast, I bring you the supernatural, strange, quirky, and dark history of Japan you might not hear about anywhere else. I'm really happy to bring this episode to you all because it's set in the city of Kobe, which holds a special place in my heart. I lived in Kobe for almost 10 years, and both of my children were born there. They both affectionately refer to Kobe as their hometown, and I always tell people that I consider Kobe to be my second home. I've so many amazing memories of exploring the streets and the landmarks of the city and taking in festivals big and small. I also have a great connection with the location of tonight's haunting story, Ikuta Shrine, or Ikuta Jinja, in Sannomiya. Before we get into the haunting though, let's talk a little bit about the city of Kobe, Japan, and its history. Kobe is located in Hyogo Prefecture, Japan, and it has a rich history that dates back to ancient times. Here's a brief history of the city of Kobe. The area that is now Kobe has a history dating back over 1,000 years. During the Nara period, which was 710 to 794, it was known as Wakasashi region, and it served as a gateway for trade between Japan and China. During the 15th century, the feudal era, the city began to take shape as a port and trading hub under the rule of Oda Nobunaga, and later Toyotomi Hideyoshi. It was also known for the Akashi Castle, which played a significant role in the region's history. Now, during the Edo period, which was 1603 to 1868, the area was controlled by the Tokugawa shogunate. It continued to be an important port of trade and transportation. In the mid-19th century, Japan ended its policy of isolation and opened several ports to foreign trade. Kobe was one of these ports, along with Yokohama and Nagasaki. This marked a significant turning point in the city's history, leading to increased international influence and cultural exchange. Kobe rapidly modernized and became a major center for trade and industry. The city's development was closely tied to foreign influence, with Western architecture and culture leaving a lasting impact on the city. And this is very true even right now, folks. If you ever have the chance to visit Kobe, Japan, and you get to go along the waterfront to what is called the foreign settlement area, you're going to see a lot of incredible architecture, a lot of buildings that have kind of an 19th century European look, because that's exactly what the influence was. Very cool, very worth seeing, totally recommended. Now, the earthquake and recovery. The Great Hanshin earthquake, commonly known as the Kobe earthquake, struck in 1995, causing widespread devastation and loss of life. However, the city showed remarkable resilience and underwent extensive reconstruction efforts, which included improving infrastructure and urban planning. Now today, Kobe is a vibrant and cosmopolitan city known for its international outlook, as well as its diverse culinary scene, of course including the famed Kobe beef. The city is also famous for its picturesque harbor and iconic Akashi Kaikyo Bridge, the longest suspension bridge in the world. Now, let's learn about the location of the haunting we'll talk about in this episode of the Supernatural Japan podcast. So, Ikuta Shrine, or Ikuta Jinja, is one of the oldest and most historically significant Shinto shrines in Japan, and it's located in the heart of Kobe. It has a rich history that dates back over 1,000 years. And here's a little bit more about that rich history. Ikuta Shrine's history is believed to extend back to the 3rd century, making it one of the oldest shrines in Japan. The shrine's establishment is traditionally attributed to Empress Jingu, a legendary figure in Japanese history. The purpose of the shrine was to enshrine the kami, or spirits, of Amaterasu, the sun goddess, and Toyoke, the deity of agriculture and industry, seeking their blessings and protection for the region. By the way, folks, I'm doing my best to pronounce some of these words. Over the centuries, Ikuta Shrine has been relocated and rebuilt several times due to various factors, including natural disasters and conflicts. Its current location in Chuo Ward in Kobe was chosen in 1889. The shrine has seen its share of historical events, including the medieval and feudal periods, and the societal changes during the Meiji Restoration. Now, Ikuta Shrine has played a vital role in the cultural and religious life of Kobe and the surrounding region. It serves as a place for people to offer prayers for good fortune, safety, and success in various aspects of their lives. The shrine is also known for its annual festivals, and with the Ikuta Shrine Festival, the Ikuta no Miya Taisha, held in May being a major attraction. And these festivals include traditional music, dance, and other cultural performances. The shrine has come to symbolize the resilience of the people of Kobe, too. Throughout its long history, it has faced numerous challenges, including natural disasters and destruction during wars. Notably, it survived the Great Hanshin earthquake, the Kobe earthquake in 1995, although it sustained some damage, and it was subsequently restored. Ikuta Shrine is renowned for its beautiful and traditional architecture. The shrine features structures with distinctive thatched roofs, which are characteristic of Japanese Shinto architecture. Its tranquil gardens and cherry blossoms make it a picturesque and peaceful place to visit. Now, Ikuta Shrine is not only a place of historical significance, but also a living testament to the enduring importance of Shinto culture and spirituality in modern Japan. And it is a very well-revered, well-visited, and important cultural and religious site in the city of Kobe. Now, the ghost of Ikuta Shrine is one of the most famous ghost stories in Kobe, and it's been passed down from generation to generation. Now, the story goes that a beautiful young woman named Ohime, which actually just means princess or noblewoman, fell in love with a samurai named Hikaru. They would meet secretly at Ikuta Shrine, where they would profess their love for each other. However, their love was not meant to be. Ohime's father disapproved of her relationship with Hikaru, and he forbade them from seeing each other. Heartbroken, the two lovers decided to elope. They made plans to meet at Ikuta Shrine and run away together. Unfortunately, their plan was discovered by Ohime's father, who was furious. He tracked them down to the shrine and confronted them. In the ensuing argument, Hikaru drew his sword and killed Ohime's father. In the chaos that followed, Hikaru was also killed. Legend has it that Ohime was so heartbroken by the loss of her lover that she took her own life on the grounds of the shrine. And ever since then, her spirit has been said to haunt the shrine, wandering the grounds in search of her lost love. Visitors to Ikuta Shrine have reported seeing a ghostly figure of a woman in white near the shrine, particularly at night. And some have even claimed to have heard her voice calling out for her lover. The legend of Ohime and Hikaru has become a popular tale in Kobe, and the shrine is often visited by tourists who are interested in the paranormal. That's right, folks. There are paranormal tourists all over the world, including Japan, of course. Now, what's really interesting is that this type of ghost is often referred to as a woman in white. Now, according to Wikipedia, a white evil lady or woman in white is a type of female ghost. She is typically dressed in a white dress or similar garment, reportedly seen in rural areas and associated with local legends of tragedy. White lady legends are found in many countries around the world, not just Japan. Common to many of these legends is an accidental death, murder, or suicide, and the theme of loss, betrayed by a husband or fiancé, or an unrequited love. And of course, this story of Ohime definitely fits the bill when it comes to that. Now, in Japanese folklore, the yurei, or onryo, are frequently depicted as women with long black hair and white dresses. This is due to these spirits commonly appearing in the condition that they died, and in Japanese culture, people are buried in a white kimono. This depiction was cemented for the rest of the world by Japanese horror stories and films such as The Ring or Ju-on. and it's also a typical depiction of ghosts throughout East Asia. Now, despite the ghostly legend, Ikuta Shrine remains a popular attraction in Kobe for its rich history and cultural significance. It's one of the oldest shrines in the city, and it's one of the oldest shrines in Japan, dating back to the 3rd century. And it is dedicated to the Shinto god of medicine and healing, and it has been an important site of prayer and worship for centuries. Now, it's surprising that there is only one ghost at Ikuta Shrine, considering the tragic history. Maybe there are more. So during the war, World War II, Ikuta Shrine was used as a military headquarters by the Japanese Imperial Army, and the shrine was bombed by Allied forces, and much of the surrounding area was destroyed. And the shrine was again rebuilt, but it was not until the post-war period that the city and the shrine began to recover. Now, I have walked on the shrine grounds at Ikuta Jinja too many times to count. And the day, and even mostly during the day, but even occasionally at night during my walks when I lived in Kobe. One thing I have always loved to do is go for evening walks. And if you are someone who checks out my social media, you follow the Supernatural Japan podcast on Instagram, or you follow me on Twitter, those places you'll know me for my nighttime photography. Often that's based in Japan. And again, I've walked around this shrine. I've explored it, but I have to admit that I have never witnessed anything unusual. But then again, at that time, I wasn't looking for anything unusual. So next summer, I'll be there again for a visit, and maybe then, just maybe I'll see something. So today, Ikuta Shrine is best known for its beautiful architecture, its serene and peaceful surroundings, and they really are. It's a gorgeous sight. Visitors can wander the grounds and admire the many torii gates and stone lanterns and shrines that make up the complex. And there's also a small museum on the premises that displays artifacts related to the history of the shrine. Now, both of my children were blessed at ceremonies at Ikuta Jinja, in a ceremony called Omiyamairi, which translates into baby's first visit to the shrine. Now, Omiyamairi is the first visit to the shrine for a baby. Parents bring their babies there to express their gratitude for the baby's birth and pray for the baby's healthy growth and happiness. And Omiyamairi is done traditionally 31 days after the birth for a boy and 32 days after for a girl. However, the custom has become less strict as the society gets more open recently, and is more common to do the first visit a bit later, which is what happened with both of us. We were a bit later. An incredible ceremony, though, where my Japanese in-laws came, and definitely a memory we will always have. Now, we would also visit Ikuta Shrine on New Year's Day for the Hatsumode ceremony. Now, Hatsumode is the first Buddhist temple or Shinto shrine visit of the Japanese New Year, which is January 1st. Many visit on the first, second, or third day of the year, as most are off work on those days. Generally, wishes for the new year are made, new amomori, or charms and amulets, are bought, and the old ones are returned to the shrine so they can be cremated. And there are often long lines at major shrines throughout Japan, and that is definitely the case at Ikuta Jinja. Now, the street leading up to the main torii gates is lined with dozens of yatai selling seasonal food and snacks, and there is a true festival feel in the air on New Year's Day and during the Oshogatsu holiday. And it's a really wonderful experience, and it's a really wonderful place to take in that New Year's holiday vibe in Japan. So, whether you believe in ghosts or not, I hope you do. The legend of the ghosts of Ikuta Shrine is an intriguing story, and it adds to the rich history and the culture of Kobe, Japan, where there are ghosts lurking just about everywhere. It's a reminder of the power of love and tragic consequences that can result from its forbidden nature. And it's a city with a rich history, and I'm hoping to do more episodes in the future on different hauntings around Kobe, because again, it's a spooky, neat city that's close to my heart. Now, if you've ever spotted something unusual or had a strange experience at Ikuta Shrine or anywhere else in Kobe, let me know. Send me an email at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. So, Ikuta Shrine is located at about a 10-minute walk from the JR and Hanshin Sannomiya stations in Kobe. It's right downtown. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Supernatural Japan podcast. Come and join our growing community over on the new Facebook page. The link is in the description below in the show notes. Come on over and like or follow us there. You can email me with any comments, ideas, or stories at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. Follow the podcast over on Instagram at supernaturaljapan, and you can follow me on Twitter or X at madformaple. All those links will be in the show notes below. And I'll be sharing a lot of my own personal photos of Ikuta Shrine and Kobe itself. I'll share them over on the Facebook page as well as the Instagram feed. So make sure you go over and like both of those so you can check out all the pictures I'm going to be sharing about this gorgeous place. I also wanted to let everyone know that the Supernatural Japan podcast has made some back-end changes recently. I made the decision to change hosting platforms for the podcast in order to get better information about who's listening to the podcast, and that can definitely help the podcast grow and to grow a bigger audience. You won't notice any difference, but I will, and it will be for the better. But you, of course, can help us grow as well. I would appreciate you helping the podcast grow by sharing us on your social media and telling like-minded friends about the podcast. If you are a member of any big Japan-related Facebook groups or any kind of big paranormal Facebook groups, please share our episode and all of our episodes there. It really helps us grow. Now, I hope you guys keep things spooky, and we'll be back very soon with another episode of the Supernatural Japan podcast.